Well, hello YouTube. This is Kurt, Sender Rope TV, and I'm here in my new basement. We just bought a house, and so this is my new office, and we've been really busy the last couple weeks. One of the things that I think was very interesting about the whole buying process I learned was that 95% of all home loans, the majority of home loans, are actually being done by the government. FHA, HUD, USDA, these different bureaucracies within our government are actually doing the home loans, underwriting the home loans. Then what happens is they sell it to a bank like Wells Fargo, Bank of America, or whatever, with a guarantee. So the bank gets to take all of the benefit. And if the thing falls apart and blows up in their face, no problem. Bank says, this didn't work out. You can take it back. Really a neat, nifty thing. The other one was we live in Lynchburg, Virginia, and one of the rules with the new loans that the government controls all of is that you must hook in, if it's available, to city sewer. So instead of only having to pay for city water, now we also have to pay for city sewer. So that kind of sucked because we had a perfectly functioning septic tank. And it made no sense to do that. But we were forced to do it and squander that money basically with that whole process. So Obama has won again. I'm actually was a little surprised at this. Sort of. And I'll get to the sort of in a minute. But I myself, I voted for Gary Johnson. This is the first year in my life that I haven't voted Republican ticket. I can think of a time that I've ever not voted for a Republican. And there's all these reasons why I lied to myself and said, well, he's the lesser of two evils or whatever over the years that I did it. I used to be a neocon, so it was easier back up to the first George Bush administration. The second one, I kind of woke up and saw what was going on around the world and in my country and a lot of other stuff, and started supporting Ron Paul and researching liberty and finding out about these things. And so I've come a long way. But this is the first year that I actually, when I considered voting for Mitt Romney, I actually became almost physically ill. The idea of compromising my principles and selling my soul made me want to throw up. And I'm not joking about that. I mean, I felt it right here. I wanted to just get sick at the idea. And so I refused to do it. We had the same problem with our House, our congressman, and our Senate candidate. And so I skipped right over those, and there was no alternative. I sure as heck wasn't going to vote for the Democrat. And so now our nation has elected Barack Obama for a second time. And we've gone from having a government to having a giverment. What's the giverment going to give me today? It's not sustainable. It's not. You cannot spend what we're spending and expect things to get miraculously better. You can't pay back $16 trillion. If the debt service on a debt is, say, 10%, 10% is interest, and you have to pay that 10%. That's $1.6 trillion. That's over half of the budget, even if it was a reasonable budget, and it's an unreasonable budget now. And you're starting to already see, it's only not even 48 hours after Obama was foisted upon us by morons, that you're already seeing companies across the country laying people off. My dad is a former defense proposal manager, so he has a lot of the contacts in the industry out there, and he told me that Lockheed had an email ready to go for after Obama got elected, and they were going to not send the email if Mitt Romney got elected. Now, let's skip the debate about, military-industrial complex and all that stuff. That's not my point. My point is that they see such bad times ahead. They know they're not stupid. These companies are not dumb. They didn't get to where they were and haven't been in business for as long as they've been in business to be stupid about it. And so they're shutting things down and consolidating and cutting people loose. And so you're going to see the jobless numbers start to shoot through the roof again, miraculously. I mean, it was bogus anyway, because they already said that, oh, the numbers have been revised. Well, of course they've been revised. I mean, there hasn't been a time where they haven't been revised. They release these numbers, and then on the day when there's a busy news cycle day, or it'll get buried in the on page 9, then they release the revised numbers, and somehow or another we're supposed to believe that any of that makes sense. So so I was talking about a little bit in the beginning about Mitt Romney. There's a great quote somebody put on Facebook on someone's thread they were commenting on, and they said that, you know, the GOP is talking about how it needs to reach out to young voters. And I would consider myself a young voter, even though I've got some gray coming in here. But the GOP needs to reach out to young voters. And this person said, well, the GOP had a lot of energized, excited young voters that were really, you know, turning into a really hot flame. And the GOP came along and they pissed all over it. They urinated all over they put it out. And I was actually on the fence. I was once again going to do the lesser of two evils thing. And when they did what they did at the convention, all you got to do is just look around. You see what they did. When they did that, I'd had enough. That's it. That's it. I love liberty, and that's just the way it is. And you in the GOP that can't figure that out, you will continue the destruction of this nation at a very rapid course. Because I am not for sale. I'm not going. I mean, let me tell you, now that I've stood on principle, it is going to be so much easier in the future to do it. Because look, how would I feel today? With what justifications would I say today if I had compromised my principles and the things I believe in? If I had said, well, let's vote for Mitt Romney because he's the lesser of two evils. If I had said that, how would I feel today? Knowing that I sold my soul for a candidate and he didn't even win. And all of these lies that people tell themselves in politics, it's disgusting. You know, well, we got to get good Supreme Court justices. Or, you know, he's better than the other guy. Or he's a conservative and the other guy's a communist. No, give me a break. The only way Mitt Romney was ever a conservative is if you literally stood him next to shoulder with Barack Obama. That's the only way he was a conservative. In comparison to that man. And Paul Ryan is really only a conservative in comparison to Mitt Romney. They're big spenders. So I want to spend a little second here talking about, though, George Allen, the George Allen campaign, our Senate campaign candidate. The whole time throughout the primary, George Allen and his cronies were running around setting up fake Tea Party groups. Now I'm a Tea Party leader here in Virginia. Don't come in and pretend you're Tea Party. You're either Tea Party or you're not, and we know when you're not. When you set up a group with 5 people and call it Tea Party Patriots for George Allen, and you set up 5 or 6 of those across the state, that doesn't make you the Tea Party candidate. And then if you, after that has happened, and you've won the primary, and you don't come to us and say, you know what, that was probably not a good idea, that was kind of dumb, I want to apologize for my staff, what they did was wrong. You're not willing to come and do that and show us a little humility. And then come in and say, and I know previously when I was senator that I did a really bad job of holding the line. I did a really bad job of just keeping true to my principles and the things that I say I believe in now and that I did believe in then. I screwed up, and I'm telling you now, and I'll put it in writing, that won't happen again. He didn't do any of that. Had that happened, he might have won, because a lot of people said, oh, okay, I can see he understands where he screwed up. But instead, he just tried to get his little puppets to run around the state, Bill Bowling and Bob McDonnell, and say, rah, 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 George Allen. And most of us were saying, I'm not buying that. And the true Tea Partiers, the people that are sticking to their guns here, they had these stickers riding around, Tea Party Patriots for George Allen. There's a little, you know, Gadsden flag and all this stuff. And every time I saw one of those, it strengthened my resolve to not vote for George Allen. And let me tell you, I come from the background of having a Republican chairmanship and being involved deeply in the Republican Party. So it's not any light thing that I'm like, oh, I just don't like the party anymore, I've switched. I've had it with them. Everyone that's in paid leadership of the Republican Party nationally and at the state level in Virginia and probably lots of other states should immediately be terminated. Immediately. And Boehner should, oh my gosh, that guy should get the pink slip as speaker. Blubbering Boehner. Makes me sick. Grow a pair. Man up. Tell Obama to drop dead. Figuratively. That you're not going to cooperate with his stuff. You don't go tell you want to say it nicer? Tell him to go pound sand. He spends lots of time in the golf course. Tell him to go pound sand. So, what? Oh, I'm not looking at this going, woe is me, because I kind of saw this coming. And this was a choice between we're in the boxcar on the way to Auschwitz, and they're going to kill us when we get there. And so suddenly a speaker turns on and says, this is train control, and we've decided that if you cheer loud enough, we'll replace your conductor with this other guy. He's kind of a slower driver, and he'll drive the train a little bit slower. So instead of getting there today, we'll get there on Friday. And everyone starts cheering, yay! And I'm in the train going, whoa, 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 whoa. No. When we get there, we need to attack the guards. Yeah, you know what, we're probably going to die, but guess what? They're here to kill us anyway. They're trying to kill us. And that's what they're trying to do to America. They're driving this train straight towards a brick wall. And it's not a question of, is it going to hit the brick wall? It's when is it going to hit the brick wall? And Barack Obama is, woo, full speed ahead, baby. What are you going to do about it? You're going to keep consenting to this stuff? Apparently you are. Apparently America is. We want to have this stuff. And now let me dissect the root of the problem, if you've made it this far in the video. The root of the problem in America. It is not that we vote for X guy or Y guy or whatever. The problem in America is that we have a representative government. And when I say that, I don't mean represent us, because they don't represent us. But it's representative of us. So, if we've got socialist scum, hard communist or fascist scum, or whatever kind of freeloading scum as our representatives, whether they're rapists and liars and murderers and thieves, if we've got that, it's because that's what we are. You want to change America, change the heart of this country. Stop focusing so much on voting for this guy and voting for that guy and doing this and doing that, and knocking on doors and making phone calls and all of these things and donating money. Tell you want to donate money, here's what you do. You got $200 and you're looking for something to do with that $200 and you're not going to spend it on yourself. You go find a guy that's willing to defend this nation and join and train in his local militia. You give the money to him. Don't give it to some politician who's going to use it to build an apparatus of tyranny that's going to be putting a boot on your neck. Don't do that. We have a problem in America, and it's right here. And we don't love God. We don't seek righteousness. We want wickedness. Look around, man. See, I don't have TV, so I'm not desensitized to what's going on. I travel and go over to friends and click the thing on. I'm like, what is that? What is that show? And that's crazy. And the stuff that we see, and that's just one tiny little bit of our media propaganda machine. So the problem is here, people. You want to change America, change the heart. We are not going to see a change anytime soon, I don't think. And if you look at history, if it's any gauge of what can happen to a nation, you'll see that the tough times are going to come. Disobedience will be chastened, and we reap what you sow, unfortunately. But I don't see any other recourse. And I've been wrong in the past as far as my timeline goes, but I think we're ever closer now to falling off the ledge than we ever were before. The means by which they'll probably use to change it is another war. I mean, it seems to be a popular method to fix our economy. But I don't know. Take heart. I mean, God didn't wake up this morning in heaven and go, or a day after the election, and look at the newspaper and go, "Oh no, Barack Obama won. What is the Democrats? Oh!" He's not surprised. He knew this was coming. We get the desires of our heart. If we want wicked people, that's what we get. So don't be shocked. Don't be dismayed. God is still on the throne. And He's trying to wake us up. He's trying to tell us, what are you doing? What are you doing? You need to be standing for truth and preaching in season and out of season. Well, guess what? It's time to preach in season. We took too long of a break from preaching out of season. And it's time to get to work. So you want to see things changed, I'll be posting some more ideas.